Hello and welcome back to another Patreon video of a pro game study. I do apologize, I do have the green screen up, but it's 9:18, so there's absolutely no light, and I have a specific setup. I haven't worked out the light setup yet, so I don't have any of that up to put up and use the green screen. So it's just going to be like this for me. I'm going to be all laggy. But that's fine. I mean, I'm not the focus here. So I'm going to, again, be going over a pro game and going through my thinking analysis, as well as kind of working on some of the things I've been trying to work on, including counting in the middle of the game, analyzing how things look in regards to points, what's weak, what is urgent, what is big, the things that I've been working on in the past as well. And I will either next Saturday or the Saturday after that be having a lesson with Calvin again. I have yet to get in contact with him. I keep forgetting about it, but I will be having a lesson with him this month for sure. And while I'm at it, thank you guys for being patient and very understanding for everything that's been going on. The frustration in May with some of the pets, and then the vacation I had, which took up just under 2 weeks. So I appreciate the understanding, and I will continue to make videos and get better at making sure I get them in as soon as I can. Okay, so this game is going to be specifically on a little bit on the orthodox side, because I've been going against quite a few people that go and play the orthodox or try to go for the opening with the 3-4 and then the 5-3 enclosure. And I'll show it. I'll show it in a bit. But it's something that's been occurring in that's occurred in some of the games that I've had recently, and it's just one of the things that kept popping up. So I thought, hey, why not work on that? So here we go. Create. So this is going to be, let's see, this was back in 2012. We've got Yuki Satoshi 9 Pro as white, Takao Shinji 9 Pro as black, 6.5 Komi. Yeah. Okay. And switching that to that. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, again, like previous times, there's not really much to say or really go over in the opening, because anything can happen in the opening. So nothing too exciting. But this is what I was talking about before. This 3-4 with the 5-3 enclosure and the Hoshi stone. This is something that I've found myself going against quite a bit. And sometimes I'll go for R14. Did not mean to click. Sometimes, oh well, whatever. Sometimes I'll go for 017. Sometimes I'll go for the middle, even though this is better, because then this is all tight compared to this. So yeah, just looking at different variations. This is what happens at the game, and it's actually something I've tried considering. But at the same time, in the past, every time I go for the outside and not the inside, I can't develop enough on my potential side, not my side, my potential side. I don't build up enough, and black is able to live everywhere and build a massive potential on the right side by extending out and then getting massive influence everywhere and preventing me from getting anything. So that's why I'm going over this. That and people playing this way against me multiple times as well recently, as of recently. So we've got this. I mean, I've already looked at the first few just to see if this was a game that I would like to go over, and it was. So we've got these and then the approach. This is as far as I've looked. And just I can't English. Simply seeing black back off, and then white getting this extension, it's fine. Like I feel quite comfortable with that, other than the fact, I mean, looking at it now, it doesn't seem as stressful. But in the past, I've got weak connections, and black is all nice and strong. I mean that's literally what this is. Black has a very strong, solid corner, very solid enclosure here. White could still go into the corner, but those two stones are not going to be captured in any way, or surrounded as a matter of fact, unless I play something like Q13. But even with that, there's still ways to fight that around. For example, leaning against the top and then putting pressure on the one stone, capping, something of the sort. So there's nothing that could, in short, there's nothing that could be done against these two stones. So, but for white, there's just so many Aji points, cutting points, and I myself just don't ever feel comfortable with that. But it's the opening. I just need to learn that it's okay. Because this is shape, it's not exactly Kobayashi, but it still gives the idea of fighting if they want to invade. That, I mean, and it's also true that I can still go into the corner. So in short, there's just nothing I need to be so worried about with this. It's just something I need to get over. Anyway, enough on my blabbering on that. Time for the actual deep thinking kind of stuff. So we've got this, which I know is not going to be the answer, and then we've got these. And I mean, clearly I believe a pincer would be the best option to go here, or there's just backing off, or there's even just playing away. But I believe that a pincer is the best option here. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory in the aspect that it helps to build up these high stones that white has on the top. I mean, the D3 stone's not going to die. It's not going to get captured, and it's going to get a base no matter what. If the corner is lost, then the corner is lost. But white then gets benefit to. Okay, so like for example, if this happens in game, I mean, this is really bad, allowing white to get all this shape in here. Actually, no, never mind. I think this was fine. And then starting a fight here or something of the sort, or just capping. Anyway, just that general idea of this group is going to look very weak. Even if black gets this in, very few points and white's just building up, especially with an extension or a jump, one or the other. Now, if we were to play something like this, it sure, I get to keep the corner, but it's not as big as what I potentially could have gotten on the left side. And I can't just secure this area here. This is too wide open. Black has this point to go in, and if I want to back off here, Black could still potentially try to creep in. And that's just third line territory for a corner and still potential to reduce. And I don't like that. And all of this influence, that's just really, really nasty for, really good for Black. So, and the reason why I'm specifically showing these things is some people might just automatically want to go for this in this kind of scenario of the game, and it's a no-no. Backing off I can kind of see, maybe, but pincer, some kind of pincer, it just seems very plausible and better in the long run. Or am I being too optimistic, or is it just a style preference? That's strange. How about if this happens? I did overlook the possibility of Black playing elsewhere. Like this, because it is going to be extremely hard to capture this. Black could make a base with c7 and attack the white stone, or could jump, and if white wants to surround, white's not building up very much on the bottom, and there's still the possibility of attacking the one stone. Too many problems. But is that really too optimistic? And there's a lot of Aji. And now this one stone in correlation to all this, and on top of this high stone here. It's true that it doesn't necessarily look all that good. Too many things to worry about. Okay, so I guess in short something. Okay, so this is the move. It taking the corner. So this is an example of me needing to alter a way of thinking, because I still have the Moyo, my Moyo heart. I enjoy going for big influences, but like I mentioned before, there's a lot of weaknesses on the top. So why should I try to build something that needs at least 3 different moves to have some kind of potential in Moyo? Like this. This just trying to Again, too many weaknesses. So just making solid territory, not... I mean, if this happens in game, it is true that black isn't necessarily gaining much. But honestly, I don't know what I would do. Enclosing here gives me an option to bring out this stone, this Aji potential later on. Because black's not exactly alive yet. I mean, it has high potential to be able to, but Aji, you know, the unpredictable thing. And this would just be too slow. This is exactly one of those things that I need to work on, because I don't do well against players like this. But I definitely believe keeping the corner is definitely beneficial. It's nice and strong. Black could potentially go for thickness here, though. I'd go for this. Ladder works for black. Anyway, sorry. I keep zoning out. I'm trying to... It's been a while since I've seen that Joseki too. But in the long run, I feel like this would be very, very beneficial for black in the long run with the thickness. I could be wrong. I mean, I was wrong about the corner. Yep. Yeah. Okay. It's probably going to be like that other video that I made before where literally, like what just happened, everything I said, it was always the thing that I kept feeling was the wrong thing to do. But anyway, so we see this and black approaches. Which, I mean, usually people haven't played away when playing the bottom left variation. Play something like C14. Hasn't happened to me very often. But nonetheless. So, the question, okay, questions. Question. Do we have, I mean, obviously we have options. We can back off, we can pincer. The question is, which one's going to be best beneficial? I mean, if we think too, I don't know, part of me just wants to back off and see something like this, because this is all really low. But there's not really much I can, there's not really much white can do. I need to stop thinking that. So, and for this entirety of the game, I'm trying to focus on what white can do. In other study games, I definitely would go over both colors, but I definitely feel like for this game specifically, I need to really think as if I am playing as white. But if we do some kind of pincer, that's just going to damage this. There's not really anything white can do. I think white has to back off. Because white needs to make sure that they have that they have good territory. Okay, so this is just going to be one of those games. It's okay. Well, okay, I shouldn't think of it as what's right and wrong. Because this is a different style of play. All of this is completely different from what I'm used to playing. But that's not bad. Because, I mean, like I mentioned before, I was telling myself that the only options for me would be to back off or to pincer. However, there's countless options, countless opportunities. And I didn't say this before, but white wins this game by resignation, which intrigues me even more, and it's intriguing me even more with what white is doing here, because white knows of these things going on the top, not completely being connected. But it is also true that this cornerstone has very good chances of living, and that these two stones, well, white could always go into the corner for life. It's looking, I mean, it's going to be extremely hard to capture or surround all of that, or split it off and do the same for, and surround or capture any of the groups. But okay, so black does have a weak group. Okay, black decides to play away, and we've already come to realize that white should be able to manage life or be able to run out just fine. So, sorry, hamsters. My instant response is wanting to do this, but I don't think that's, no, I need to stop with that focus. So, we've got this, we've got the attachments, or Tanuki, but I don't like the idea of Tanuki. I don't want to surround a corner. If we play this way, we're hoping to go for the top. If we're attaching this way, we're hoping to attack this side. But neither, well, and if we play this way, black's just for sure getting the corner and is just influential, going for potential in the middle. I almost want to play this way, though. Because if we go about this way, no, I don't like that, actually. No. That weaker black stone is now with some kind of base. No, I think this has to be the answer. And we are once again going into something that... I mean, this is good. It's, yes, bothersome, but it's good. Because we're looking at things that I originally would not think of. Like, just straight up cutting. Because I've always been told it's bad to just do that right away. And then up here, a knight's move, a Kaima? That is also not some... I mean, this was back in 2012. But... this is not something I would consider playing. Because of cutting shape. Unless we go like this. But even then, that's really good shape for black. If they go into the corner, and if this way, there's, again, cutting point. Well, not cutting point anymore, because this is Sente. To take the corner or the side. But it is nice and strong, and then white can play something like this too, or like this. Although this might be better. Okay, so black decides to do this. Okay. We could play this way for shape. We could do the double Hane. But I don't necessarily like the double Hane idea. Okay, now I'm just saying that. I mean... no, double Hane works in my favor. No, no. No, this would be extremely, extremely good for white. I don't think black would respond that way. Maybe that way. Oh, my brain is wanting to burst. That's why I'm kind of figuring out what I would like to say. Because I don't know how to look at this. Because here's what's in my mind right now. White has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 points in this corner, and that's pretty much it. Black has 3, 6, 9, 12. So these two corners are basically even. Both still have potential to grow. But then black also has this corner and potentially this corner as well. Like, black just seems to have a lot more potential for growth, while white doesn't. And I'm trying not to just skip ahead and see what happens next, because that's not going to help me grow. So, I personally believe the only two options would be Hane or kick. This would definitely not work. Has to be one of the two. But we don't want to make this stone stronger down here, because that's just greatly beneficial for black. So it might actually be better to do the Hane. And we actually got something. And coming back to this idea, I'm mean, if something like this happens, that's way too good for white. So I don't, and I am not really seeing anything that black can do. Unless they want to fight this out. But it doesn't look like black's getting anything from that. So I don't think black can go for the double Hane. I think black has to go for this. I checked too quickly. I wasn't taking into consideration the crosscut. Because this isn't something that I would typically play either. But it looks like black's just connected. Well, I mean, black has an option to connect to the F17 stone or the C14 stone. One or the other. But that's if white does that. If white does this, it's basically the same thing. But white has a saying for what happens. I think white needs to play that Atari. Yeah, because any kind of extension isn't going to work. There's just a lack of liberties to do so for white. So white has to go for one of the Ataris, and I believe that it would best benefit white to go for the E17 Atari. Or would it be, okay, so we've got this where white is hoping to go for this area, but if, I mean, black still does have this potential for Aji, and it might not be all that good shape for white, and white ends in Gote. So if we again come back to look at this, it further attacks this side. So yeah, I still agree with the idea of E17 needing to be for the direction. And I'm wrong. Oh, wait, I think I missed something. White does have a way to take the corner? Because white does go for this direction. So now what I'm thinking is, what if black, what if we go about it this way? Keep the corner. Or, whoops. Or still keeping to the, no, that would be, oh, you know what? Ooh, I like this move. Black would have to take, like, so black would have to respond to that, and white still gets that same result. So it's still the same idea that I was thinking of before, if that's what's going on. Maybe. It do. Okay, so it is kind of similar to what I was thinking. We have this, we have this. And like shown before, white hoping to potentially get influence on the bottom side or the top, but I feel like it would be beneficial and better shape to face the left side. But here we see black taking the double Atari. Obviously we're going to take here and then we're going to see this shape. Oh, Ko, so early in the game. And I don't think, I definitely believe white needs to just play locally, because there's literally no Ko threats anywhere that black would respond to. I don't think this would be worth it. So I'd probably go underneath. It's always the things that I don't consider. Because, I mean, this does make sense because there's still the double Atari. Black needs to protect something. This is always Sente to grab something in the corner. And we still have this for white. Like, how's the two stones going to live? I'm too worried about shape when I should be looking at my opponent's shape as well. There's plenty I can do. But this actually would be quite damaging, but at the same time it's still damaging to black as well. But not as much. But then again, white does still have things like this to manage the group up there, but sorry, I'm trying to think ahead and I'm trying to look at different variations of how the board could go based off of what white does. But yeah, connect. Oh, they just go straight for the cuts. They don't, well, actually that would make sense. I mean, two stones, black could just simply protect and get all that influence. It would be better beneficial. So again, I'm just thinking too quickly. That's another problem. That's something I need to make sure that I keep in touch with as well. Make sure that I stop thinking so quickly. And we do see this extension and this extension. And then we start seeing a fight in the corner because white's not exactly alive in the corner yet. And that's looking like Ko. White has to play this. Yep. And block that. Yeah, this is Ko. This is Ko on top. The question is, which one's more beneficial? I believe this one would be, because it gets rid of liberties on the outside on this side. Or just take outside. Actually, taking outside liberties. Do. Actually, I think that's a liberty thing. Yeah, that actually should work just fine for white by one liberty. So we see this white connect. Yes. Actually, that doesn't work if black just connects like that. That's right. That doesn't work. And neither will C19. Neither will this. white can't do anything. White can't do anything. No, white can do this. No, white can't do that. Black can just play this. And that's just dead among dead. I'm not seeing anything, and this doesn't work either. That's just co, but that honestly might have to be the only thing that works. The only problem is that there's so many local things that there's just nothing. I'm not seeing anything outside co, and this is not looking good for white at all. But part of me is second guessing myself because white still wins this game somehow. Connect. They do this. Black goes for the outside. Threaten, take. Okay, well now it does belong to white. Okay. So black doesn't go for co. But the question's why? Is this too small? Actually, no, this actually would look pretty bad for black, so maybe no. But black does get sent to elsewhere. It's gonna hurt my head too much. I need to move on. I need to move on. Oops. Need to move on. So we see this and black extend. So black is getting that potential on the left side, which I was not happy with in the first place. I mean, it was originally white's potential side to build up something. And with the previous ideas that I had before, black was not building very much on the left side. But now black has massive thickness and still has things to threaten building up on this top side by threatening to connect up these stones with an extension here and then a Kayama, for example. And black still has this. Or this. Anyway. So black plays this. What is urgent? Right now, We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Potential. No, I'm not going to go anywhere with points in there because that's null right now. We don't know what's going to happen here. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26-ish. Plus a few points. So let's just say white has 30 points. White has 30 points. This corner is 12. 2, 4, 6. We can maybe say this is also 10. So 30 for whites, that's about 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. So 50 against 30. And that's just in potential. And that's not including this stone, whatever is happening on the bottom, or the right side. And the corner, who knows what's going to happen. So white needs to place something in one of these areas, in my opinion. And I believe the bottom might be the best option for that. Maybe high though, because if we play low, that'll just give black an excuse, or a possibility to build up this area that is already getting quite big. And if white wants to go in here, I mean, white's not going to get very many points while playing something over here. White will. So I believe white needs to play something on the bottom to get the 20 points that white needs to make it even. That's my take on this board. And there you have it, except that they play low. I feel excited because, well, I mean, it's having one thing correct in my head, but nonetheless, I still need more practice with it regarding counting and deducting what would be the best course of action. I mean, like I said before, if we go for the right side, black can easily just extend. White still needs a base or something. Or if they come back here, black can happily get a nice corner as well as still potential for Mayo on the bottom on this side here. And this is now only worth 10 while black gets an extra 10, 15 on top of that. Plus framework potential and a group to attack potentially. And potential it's just not looking all that good for white if white wants to go into the right side. Although this would be slightly better than R10. So my bad there. R9. So we see this. So now the game is about even. And again, we now have the right side and the corner that are still undetermined. And this Aji stone. We don't know what's going to happen with the Aji stone. And I'm assuming that black will want to go for that influence. And black plays here to do so, as well as protecting the corner potential in some kind of way. But keeping white pushed down as well as leaning so that black can develop more potential. Back off? No. Corner would be big if black had the corner, and it takes away some of those points that we were counting, because I was counting roughly 10 in that corner, If here white takes r17, that gives white an extra 6-ish points, and those 10 points that I was originally counting for black would go down to 2. And that would be 8 points worth of an increase for white, which would give white the advantage, while black still has potential to build the right side, but it's going to be pretty hard to do that still because it's so wide open. So I think it might be in black's best interest to it might just be easier. No, I think the corner's too much. I don't think black should allow white to go into the corner. Okay. Because that corner is definitely worth a lot. It was originally black's corner too. And we don't want to just straight up give up what is ours. It's like having a slice of lasagna and just giving it up. Like you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't. That's just no. So yeah, like I was imagining until that one point. This does make sense rather than this, because black does keep the corner. Black does keep the corner, but white has more potential to build up the top side. Well, I guess this isn't necessarily securing the corner with this, but white doesn't get as much in Sente. I guess that's one way to look at it. Black still has thickness, slightly better endgame for black in regards to the corner, and gets Sente at this. Sorry. Yeah, goes for the Atari, white takes, black plays elsewhere. Yep. So slightly better endgame for black in that corner, rather than back here. If black just went straight for this and had to respond to it. No. Actually, I don't think white would respond to that. I think that's just no. This would be beneficial. Okay. I'm feeling better about the counting, but now it's kind of deducting. And if you have suggestions or concerns regarding these videos, let me know. I will read them and I will plan accordingly based off of your thoughts of these videos. Okay, so potential territory counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Well, white is still about 30 plus the 20-ish on the bottom, so 50. White is at about 50. Actually, maybe 60 because of the top, but we'll leave it as potential 60 because the M16 is still open for reducing white. So potentially 60. black has it's 12, 24. Actually, better way of counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 75. So the right side is about 75, potentially, plus the 30 on this. So potentially 100 points for black and white 60. So white cannot be playing passively or too solidly. This is the time for white to be aggressive, to fight, to invade, to reduce. The question is where. I don't think white can benefit from the left side yet, because these two stones are still problematic potentially. So I think definitely think that the right side is where white needs to play. Definitely. And if black does get L4 in, then that's just pretty much game over. So white needs to play on the right side. But the question is where. I mean, we've got attachments, we've got extensions. But this would probably be where I feel most comfortable. This throw in or this attachment. Come on, phone. Because it just in the idea of fighting, starting a fight. Okay. I guess white says no to fighting yet. And this does prevent... No, I mean, it doesn't necessarily prevent L4 for black, but it kind of goes into a little bit of fighting. But, Actually, no, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see its worth. But nonetheless, I mean, it just seems far too passive. I mean, the right side alone is between 60 and 70 points. Minus S17. Actually, I didn't even include that in the counting. And then there's I mean, again, black is about 100, white's about, with this, maybe 62. So it's not, or 72, one or the other. So I just don't quite understand, but maybe I'll be able to understand after a little bit more. So then we start going into the fighting. So I'll go ahead and just kind of skim through, since it is a fight, and fights in pro games are unpredictable. Like here, I definitely probably might have secured the D5 stone for myself, because this doesn't, well, actually this I can kind of see maybe hoping to attack those stones, as well as potentially pushing this group down, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, and yeah, that would be interesting if black allowed that to happen. And continues, yeah, why not? Yeah, why can black just cut? Okay, this is silly. Okay, I'm not gonna look further yet after this point, because what? I mean, black. I mean, why not just do this in the first place? Any of these extensions. And then if you want to play for no. Yeah, again, I have no idea what white is thinking, so it's already been pretty much an hour, so I'm going to continue skimming. White again continue. Okay, so this does make a little bit of sense to me though, actually, because it is true that white did give up a bunch of stones, 3 stones to be exact, which is a bunch totally, and in the process, white secures the bottom. I mean, yeah, even with this jump, there's still Aji for black to make some shape or escape. But white gets a lot more compared to the few stones that black gets, plus maybe 10 points in there. I need to stop hitting the mic, I apologize. So again, with the fighting, okay. White, okay, no, never mind. No. I was about to say, I just don't understand what white is doing. But this makes sense too, because clearly if black makes this extension, there's nothing white can do to reduce that. So white is taking the urgent moves in regards to making sure to reduce black, which makes sense. And yes, still with something like that, white still secures that. And now we see what I wanted to see before. Oh, shoot. I messed something up at some point. Crap. That's supposed to be there. Okay. So with K13 there, I'm happy that K13 is there, and this definitely brings everything down. So recounting, left side again for black is about 30 plus the 10-ish. So about 40 to 45. Then we've got, let's see, 24. About 24. 36. So 76 to 80 points for black. 76 to 80. We'll just say 80 for now. That if this lives for white, black has about 80 plus whatever is in the middle. White has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 36, 28, 30. 30 on the top. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 25, 26, 28, 30, 32, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. So 74. 74 to 80 plus whatever's in the middle. So it is fairly on the even side. And with S17, white actually might take a slight advantage after whatever happens in the middle. So okay, so it's still about even in the game so far. The question is how this is handled. No. Mouse, go. I'm guessing black will simply play S4 for the sake of endgame. Nope. But white still extends out. That way we see a disconnection of white stones for the fight that I was longing for. Never mind. Securing a few more points. But yeah, at this point, I agree. This is now the focus. I don't understand why black did that necessarily though. No, actually, no. In case something happens and white potentially gets that some stones in there. Maybe. I could be wrong. But nonetheless, this maybe, I don't know. As white, I'd probably want to secure something in here. Get some shape. Actually, no, that's fine. What can white poke at? That's not an option yet unless white makes an extension here. But that's just heavy for white. I think white has to play on the top. Yeah, okay. I was gonna go nuts if it happened again where it was just playing elsewhere. But yeah, that I would have just been extremely uncomfortable if it just prolonged its continuation. This is interesting though. Like, why? You're just giving black points. Okay, I'm questioning this connection. Actually, oh, never mind. No, yeah, black can just connect. No. That's a mistake, black. Actually, no. No, that's not a mistake. No, it's just... It would have been ko. If black just straight up plays this, then this could be ko or seki. This could very well be seki. But nonetheless would still be really good for white. So I guess this Atari was bigger than do connect. Okay. So white goes in, take back, lots of local threats. Whoops. No. I have to go all the way back to it. Actually, is there a way for me? No, I have to manually. This is helping me though. Sure, it's kind of frustrating because of the style, but it's kind of opened my eyes to some things. Okay, so we saw that and that. Okay. We see this threat. Take this. Wait, what? Okay, here. White ignores. Okay, this is just getting nastier and nastier. And that's game. Okay. What? Okay. Okay, now that it's all on there, I'm going to close that. So this okay, I can kind of see how this bottom right corner could be equal to this corner. Corner for a corner. And still potential for for life. But most likely not, because of liberty shortage. And here, I can definitely see black dead on the bottom side here. I'm not sure why black didn't just play this though. I mean, if we look at the board now, just look at it. Just look at it. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 30, 30, 34, 38, 40, 42, 44. 50, 54, 60, 60. So the left side is about 70 points. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16-ish. So about 86 points for black. 86. White, let's see the top. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 34, 36. 20, 30, 34, 38, 40. About 41 or 40-ish. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 36, 28. So that's about 70. That still seems like a really close game. Oh, plus the white has 3 more captured stones, plus Comey, and I actually forgot a few. Yeah. So actually, white might be ahead by at least 5 points at this point. But in general, ahead. But yeah, this is just too much. But what if black just does this? I mean, this does nothing. Black's still connected, but that's still quite the reduction too. Maybe just the idea of it reducing, maybe not necessarily capturing anything, but the idea that it leaves a lot more end game possibilities for white. That, and on top of the idea that white is ahead by at least 5, maybe even 10. What does score estimator say? That is dead. How about no, it is not. There we go. Score estimator says white's ahead by 13.5. But that isn't counting this lower left corner either. Okay, with that being there, it's saying white is ahead by 4.5. But it's including some things here and there that aren't actually points. For both sides, but more so for black. So I was correct in the idea that white is ahead by at least 5 points. Okay. Well, that's definitely quite the game to look over. So yeah, about 18-20 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes. So the basic idea, I mean, I know this was a crazy video, crazy game to look over back in 2012, but the idea I'm definitely feeling from this, I mean, one, working on the counting, which is definitely getting better. It's just this middle game stuff that I need to kind of work out in my head before this. This move. Moves like this, and I mean, I get the vibe of white just waiting for black to make a mistake. That's kind of a vibe that I'm getting as well. But it's this part of the game that I am just unsure of what to do. But the counting is still better. The other main thing, other than counting, in retrospect to N3, the other idea is just trying different things. And I've mentioned it before, but I mean, I wouldn't just straight up play this, nor would I play the Kaima. Both of these things are just not in my mind of things I would do in a game. It's just not. It's not. So it's just more things to look into and try out. The third thing for me to really think on, I would say, and for anyone else, I mean, I say for me, but this is for everyone in general. I mean, white does go for the bigger picture in many cases here. So I guess just continue. I guess it's still. I guess I would still tie into the counting a direction idea. So direction, continuing to count, and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say for that. I do need to stop so I can quickly edit this really quick and then go to sleep. And then upload this on Sunday morning. Oh yeah, so yeah, crazy video. I did play a few games yesterday, so I can't say that it's been a while since I've really done anything Go related. But nonetheless, it's been a while since I made a video, so I do apologize if it was kind of all over the place. And it's 10:41 at night, so I'm probably not in the best mental state, but I will be making more videos this month. And I'll probably do them in the morning after karate instead of the comic. That way I can actually have better lighting and be in middle of the day to actually have a brain to work with. So let me know what you think, and yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're able to learn something from this, be able to take in some ideas and information that could be very useful for your own games and for your own studying. And I thank you for being a Patreon and continuing to stick around and be able to let me help you. So again, thank you, and I will see you next time. I will be streaming Sunday, and I will be having a lesson with Calvin sometime soon, either next week or the week after. So thank you, and I will see you next time. Later.